Okay, so you want to know what? I feel pretty good about this because Crystal Cave is going to allow us to start doing some cool healing stuff. So let's go ahead, Crystal Cave. We're going to attach the active. We're going to go switch here. Might as well go Crushing Hammer if we can get a heads. No, okay. We're not that good, okay? We're not that good. We're going to go G-Max Pulverization, knock out the Mew VMAX, and we do have the G-Max Pulverization and knock out the other Mew VMAX. So our opponents, just like their damage output goes right down when it comes to playing this deck. You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel, Zach Lesage here. Yo, today we're going to be covering over Duraludon VMAX. So I'm not really sure the origins of the Duraludon VMAX list. Grant Manley was able to win the underground large 100+ player event with this deck recently. So I basically taken his list. Shout out to Grant for playing this deck as well as always and just being an awesome player. So that list is in the description. We're going to be covering it over the deck. Gameplay, all that great stuff, and letting you know exactly what my thoughts are on Duraludon. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, what are you doing? Give the video a thumbs up. It really does help support the channel, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really, we're so close to 10,000 subs. Let's get it. That being said, let's jump into this deck profile, see exactly what is going on. You know you love to see it. Duraludon VMAX, one of the people's favorite cards ever since it really came out in, I think, Evolving Skies. Skyscraper is an awesome ability, so you can stop all of the damage done by your opponent's Pokemon's attacks when they have special energies attached to them. You got to think about it. Lots of decks like Mew VMAX, special energies. Jolteon VMAX, special energies. Decks are special energies everywhere, so keep that in mind. Skyscraper is really good against special energy decks. G-Max Pulverization is great because it goes through anything, whether you're playing against a Skyscraper deck or you're a Dauntless Shield on a Zamazenta V, in a Decidueye deck. You can go through any kind of thing with G-Max Pulverization. Now, we do decide to play this Duraludon because Hard Code allows you to have that kind of extra HP boost. Otherwise, we would have played the Dragon one in case our opponent plays a Stormy Mountains or something like that. This one, normally we'd play it because we play Metal Saucer. This deck actually doesn't play any energy acceleration beyond Intrepid Sword on Zacian V, and even then we don't play the energy switch. Something that I think might be cool in the deck, but I'm not sure. This is Grant Manley's take on the deck. There was a player who did very well with a similar deck like this, but I can't necessarily find that source, so shout out to them. But again, this is Grant Manley's take on Duraludon. Intrepid Sword's great. Just to really draw some cards, build up energies, and have a secondary attacker, because Brave Blade isn't really bad. Zamazenta V is the card that I'm really not set up the most about this deck. Like, I don't know how I really feel about it, because kind of Dauntless Shield does the same thing as Skyscraper in a lot of ways. Like, if your opponent doesn't play any special energies, like, I guess you just go Dauntless Shield if they're a VMAX deck. I haven't really found out what this really does great against, but it does okay. It's really not bad. Like, maybe against Rapid Strike Urshifu, it's okay. We'll see how it goes. Either way, it's just another kind of stick in your opponent's thing, but the goal is to really hit your opponent with double Duraludon VMAX and one of these Pokemon, not overbenching too much. There's some control elements with Crushing Hammer and Avery. You could just lower your opponent's bench size, which is great against Suicune and Ludicolo, and drawing 3 cards is great because of Intrepid Sword. You're really building up these large hand sizes. Flannery is great to discard your opponent's special energies. You could even play a Crystal Cave, discard your own Crystal Cave, and then play another Crystal Cave as long as you haven't played a Stadium that turn, to heal 60 damage from a Duraludon. Some pro plays that I saw Grant do. Big Charm gives even more HP. This deck is just really mid-range control elements, slowing your opponent down, and Duraludon VMAX is pretty cheap nowadays, so keep it in mind as we kind of go through these decks. Some of these decks in the lower half of the top 20 are decks that just get really popular out of nowhere, are relatively cheap, so pick them up now. You could always make them a little bit cheaper by using code ZLesage5 at PTCGO It also really helps support me as a content creator right before the holidays, which would be absolutely great. That being said, let's jump into some gameplay, see exactly what's going on with this deck. So we're going to go ahead and call, we won the coin flip, doesn't matter what we call it. We're going to go first. Seems a pretty good way to start things off here. This deck, I feel like it's got to be a little bit inconsistent at times, and that might be why players are not playing it. Maybe it's defensive or mid-range control is going to be what's stopping it. Considering I don't know what my opponent's playing, I think going up with Zacian seems like the play. I'm still unsure how I feel about Zamazenta in this particular deck. I don't know what it's going to be doing against the majority of decks, but Could be good against Mew, could be good against Mew. Now they could go ahead and go Mellow out of knockout. So let's go for Zamazenta goes here. And reasonably, you wanna know what? I am gonna just build up the Zacian. I think that this seems like a pretty good play. So let's go Intrepid Sword. Nothing really crazy going down there. In most normal matchups when I'm playing against Mew, I think it's worthwhile to go Duraludon, Zacian, Duraludon to really force your opponent into these plays. Now, we might not need to worry about our opponent going for a gigantic OHKO or anything else like that, or we'll have to see exactly how's it going. But the fact that they attach a capture energy there means we are not getting blasted into outer space with Melodious Echo. We also have Flannery to give us more turns to get set up. So I think this is really one of those cool things that we could do. So we could go Flannery, we could rip both of those out in play, put this down, and again, this deck is very slow to build up, so let's attach the energy here, and let's build up this Intrepid Sword. We might actually be able to switch here into the Zamazenta. I think that might just be the better play. So we could have a Zacian and a Duraludon. I kind of like that, not gonna lie. So, yeah, we'll go switch. We have 4 switch. We got to keep that in mind as we play out the game, and we really don't want to overbench things, but let's go for the Intrepid Sword here. So we do have a fighting energy that does allow us to kind of get built up. We also have a copy of Raihan in this deck as well. So it's just one of those things where Duraludon's a really slow roll, and if you don't understand that, that's really where you're going to struggle. What does Wind Stadium? Whenever a player plays a Pokemon VMAX in the hand, heal 100 damage. It's an interesting stadium, but it's not really going to do too much. Our opponent's going to have to go like Max Miracle through our Zamazenta V, and we're just going to still build up this Duraludon V whenever possible. And our opponent currently does not have a way to attack us, because these decks play very limited energies. The capture energy build of Mew actually plays a few more energies than what we normally expect, but we do have Fan of Waves and Flannery and other things going on, so it might not be too bad here for us. So our opponent's just going to use Fusion Strike System, draw some cards, and I mean, hopefully get an energy to attack. We'll like I said, we're going to see how this Duraludon VMAX really gets set up, and I think that's our first goal, is if they don't have a way to get around Duraludon VMAX. Now, they do have Max Miracle. That's something that we have to really watch out for. They might not necessarily think about Dauntless Shield. There's a lot of like confusing aspects about this deck too, right? Not that we're trying to intentionally confuse our opponent, but I don't know about y'all, I've definitely attacked in a Dauntless Shield with a VMAX forgetting. They might just copy Technoblast. You never know. They might not. Oh, they're just gonna pass here. Okay, cool. So you can really see how our attacks really start paying off. There's another energy. We might want to just go boss here. I don't know how many switches they've played. I don't know how many switches they've played. Let's see what Pokégear brings us first. We could just go Flannery and take away another one of their energies and their stadium. So let's go ahead, Flannery. There's one of your Fusion Strike energies gone. There's your stadium gone. And again, I really don't think we need too much, because they're going to struggle to get another energy on there. Our deck's going to get a little bit annoying. Now, we could put another Duraludon down if we didn't have a Zamazenta. I don't necessarily think it's worthwhile for us to get another Duraludon down. I don't think we're powering it up. So let's go ahead here and Intrepid Sword. We will definitely take some energies onto this Pokemon. So we have a backup attacker, and this might take some pressure off of our Duraludon. The Duraludon technically has 250 because of hard codes, so we got to keep that in mind. And maybe it's going to be hard for them to get the knockout. Maybe it won't be. They've already played at least one power tablet, so it is a little bit tough that they did bring up the Duraludon, and maybe we put down another one and just reset this build or something else like that. It's not really the situation that we're looking for, but we did take 2 of their energies away so far. We could have maybe gone for research to build up a Duraludon VMAX, but we'll see. They still need either a Vitality Band or another power tablet and an energy. So there's their energy there. Maybe they don't have it. There's Tool Jammer. That's completely fine. Do they have the energy? Looks like, okay, so they do have an energy, and they're trying to get into the power tablet. So this could be a little bit tough for us when we're dealing with things like Duraludon in general, but that's not a knockout as far as I'm concerned. That looks like it's doing 240 if they're copying Technoblast. Minus 30. Oh, Max Miracle, just going through everything. Wow. Okay, we do have opportunities to maybe switch into Zacian and get set up a little bit more there. So let's go Big Charm here. Let's just try to get set up a little bit, right? There's not really a big reason for us to do too much else. Let's go ahead and go for Adventurer's Discovery. I am going to grab some of these cards out of the deck because I just don't feel like they're worthwhile. And we want to pitch those away. And Crushing Hammers is certainly going to be huge to take some things down in the future. So there you can see that we have our chonky HP. We're up there chilling again. Our opponent doesn't really have a way to get through things except Max Miracle. We have 360 HP. We're relatively vibing here. I do want to put a Metal Energy onto the Zamazenta so we can maybe start taking away some of their energies. Again, not benching anything else here. So let's go ahead and Brave Blade it up. Let's get some damage on this Mew VMAX. And we'll put them into a position where I think it's just worthwhile for us to attack with something else, or we're just getting multi-Pokemon set up. I think Professor's Research could be really huge for us. So if they just keep on going after things, that could be huge. Or difficult, but we'll see exactly how they go. Maybe they'll go double cross switcher here. I'm still trying to figure out what their angle is. We have a lot of cards that we could use that are disruption based. Okay, Vitality Band and a Boss's Orders. That's cool. That's a plan for next turn, right? Like I think they're either attacking this, maybe they'll knock it out with Genesect. Remember, since we have 2, 4, 7 prize cards in play, no matter which way our opponent slices it, they have to knock out all 3 of these Pokemon. So there's Technoblast. Our opponent still has a little bit of life back in him, and we're just going to go ahead and send up the Duraludon here at this point. I think that sounds relatively good. We keep on drawing into these switch. It's so annoying. So let's go ahead and go Professor's Research. A Crystal Cave here would not be bad. It would have been really worse if we just did not get an energy. So let's go ahead and G-Max Pulverization. We're going to hit this. Now, again, our opponent can only Max Miracle to get to attack us, or maybe they could go ahead and attack with like well, Meloetta also has special energies too, right? So Max Miracle is really the only attack that's going to go through. We have 360, so we still have 200 HP. I think no matter what, our opponent's going to struggle to get the knockouts. The biggest thing for us is that we're down 3 switch. I think that's the scariest part about anything else that's going on here. Our opponent's also down to 7 cards left in their deck. So deck out's a legitimate option. Maybe we could just go Boss's Orders, bring up a Genesect. We got to look at how many switches our opponent has played. So far, they've played 2 copies of Switch. There's a lot of things that could be good, could be bad. We'll see. There's their first Max Miracle. And they're just going to try to go through with these other Mews. But right now, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Let's see what Pokégear, if there's anything. I know we don't want Adventurer's Discoveries. These are cards that we could just easily get rid of. I really don't think Avery is going to be super important here. Maybe this Professor's Research isn't going to be important. Let's just go ahead and pitch this away. Okay, so you want to know what? I feel pretty good about this because Crystal Cave is going to allow us to start doing some cool healing stuff. So let's go ahead, Crystal Cave. We're going to attach the active. We're going to go switch here. Might as well go Crushing Hammer if we can get a heads. No, okay. We're not that good, okay? We're not that good. We're going to go G-Max Pulverization, knock out the Mew VMAX, and we do have the G-Max Pulverization and knock out the other Mew VMAX. So our opponents, just like their damage output goes right down when it comes to playing this deck. And our Crushing Hammers and Flanneries and even our Assault Tackles, like it just really adds up to our opponent. And I mean, now we have so much more HP. We have 230 HP. They can't get a knockout on us, so we're just kind of chilling. I think that's really the biggest thing that we have right now is that we're just kind of chilling. And maybe they're going to go ahead and Cross Fusion Strike, put this at the bottom of their deck, take nothing. We're going to go Crystal Cave, heal it up. Like, our deck is very mid-range control. We're an attacking control deck. And I think that's what people don't necessarily realize about how this new Duraludon VMAX list works. There's Cross Fusion Strike, there's Psychic Leap. So they did nothing. We are going to get a 2 prize card knockout. So our opponent's play like literally allows us to heal 60 damage off our board, and we're still in a position where we can win the game. If anything, we're pretty close to just like decking out our opponent, or they just might not have the energy. So let's start things off by using Avery here. Maybe we could Crushing Hammer off their Mew. Okay, so you want to know what? Crushing Hammer would have been really good in a lot of cases. We could even put this Metal Energy there, so we have back-to-back double attackers. But we still have Boss's Orders to win the game. Like, I'm really not worried about this. We could have also gone Boss's Orders, knocked out the Mew V. That might have been better too. But it could have put us in an awkward position nonetheless. So right now it's just, I think we're in a really good spot. I don't think anything else really matters. We have game on board. And that's our opponent can't get the knockout on our active in any capacity. They could put cards under their deck. Mew doesn't typically play Marnie or any way to shuffle our hand, like no Judge, no nothing like that. So we could just boss up, do 220 damage to any of these Pokemon on the bench, and it doesn't matter. Like, these are why these plays are being made. If our opponent did play Marnie, maybe we would have gone for Boss last game instead of Avery, but it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, they're just going to concede, and we're going to take this dub. So we're going to go ahead and call the coin flip, and we won the coin flip again. How good are we at winning the coin flip? It doesn't matter too much because Duraludon, again, mid-range control deck. Coin flip doesn't necessarily matter if you slow down your opponent turns, right? So if you hit the right matchup, the coin flip doesn't necessarily matter, although you do really want to go first with this deck if you have the opportunity to do so. So we're going to go Zacian, and I mean, kind of like the Turbo Zacian deck, we could kind of chase our opponent with an Intrepid Sword relatively early. Gengar is good as long as we're able to get set up, so we do want to keep that in mind. They're probably not playing too many Marnies or anything else like that, so let's go ahead, try to chase down our opponent a little bit. Let's go Intrepid Sword here, and we don't really have the energies, but you want to know what? We can maybe go Pokégear into an Adventurer's Discovery to try to get set up. I don't think our opponent's going to be doing it. So we'll see exactly what's going on. I know a thing or two about Gengar. Gengar is rocking all those special energies. As soon as we get one Duraludon VMAX set up, Skyscraper is just going to be absolutely busted, and our opponent's probably not going to be able to do too much. I don't think their build probably runs any. Oh, they're just going to go Marnie. That's completely fine if we find Adventurer's Discovery. So we'll, yo, we got the Adventurer's Discovery! Ah! Okay, so here, we don't want to have the Zamazenta because Zamazenta is something that they can knock out with Gengar, but we do want to go ahead and go Adventurer's Discovery. We still don't really have too much going on here, and we could check through our deck. So let's go for the Duraludon VMAX. We want to get double of the Duraludon V, because again, if we just get one setup, I don't think our opponent has a way to get through Skyscraper. At least I'm pretty sure they don't have a way to go through Skyscraper. Because again, like the biggest thing about Skyscraper is prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have special energies attached. I was basically the one who popularized Gengar to the entire game. And Gengar, my base list has 4 Hiding Dark and 4 Single Strike energies. That means that they have nothing that goes through it. So let's go ahead, set these up. I don't want to put Crystal Cave down. Probably doesn't matter. And we're just going to go ahead and go Intrepid Sword again. We're just going to get a setup there. So you want to know what? I feel pretty good about this so far. As long as our opponent doesn't Marnie us, and typically the list played 2 Marnies, maybe 3 Marnies. As long as we get Duraludon VMAX set up, we are absolutely winning this game. Our opponent might go for a Dark Slumber here if they missed. We have the Crystal... Oh, they got the other Marnie. We do play 4 Adventurer's Discovery, and we do have our other Duraludon VMAX in deck, so we have that as options. Okay. As long as we get a 1 Duraludon VMAX, when it comes to playing this deck, you don't want to overbench, though. You can see that I'm trying to keep it at the prize card count. And this is the feed our opponent effectively 8 prize cards. So if we put this Duraludon V down, our opponent could sneak around that, get set up, whatever. As long as we get a 1 Duraludon VMAX this matchup, our opponent is likely not going to be able to do anything. They probably play 1, if any, and that's at most single prize card Pokemon. Right now, our opponent is going to be able to hit for a knockout with I think with Fear and Panic, actually, 1, 2, 3 Pokemon in play, 180, plus 40, plus 10, that's going to be a knockout. So yeah, rip our opponent always having Marnie. But that's what we got going on. There's 230. We're obviously going to send up a Duraludon V, and we have like 2 turns to find 1 Duraludon VMAX. Will we find it? I'm not sure. We'll maybe we'll just top deck into it, right? It would have been amazing if we would have been able to top deck into it. Since we are being a little bit cautious, we are going to attach to the benched one. Because again, it doesn't matter if we only get 1 out. We're going to pitch this away again. Nothing else going on the bench. No reason to switch. Do we get the Duraludon VMAX? We did not get the Duraludon VMAX. Let's try to take away some of our opponent's stuff that they might have going on. We might be able to slow them down a little bit. Right now, our opponent's hitting for Gmax swallow up through 250, 260, plus 250, 260, 300. 300 minus 30 equals 270. We can't get our HP up enough, but we might as well just put Big Charm on this Pokemon. The reason why I'm putting it on the other one is to split up these HPs just in case our opponent wants to just go after one or the other. We're going to go ahead here and pass. We do have Switch, we do have Pokégear. We are going to try to get to the other Duraludon. And this is the case where like Marnie is taking our win con away slightly. We know what our win con is, and if we're able to get set up again with 1 Duraludon VMAX, I really don't see how we lose this game. That's what we're hoping on. And it's like, this is how simple it can be, and it's really that fine line between winning or losing, right? Like, we are 1 card out of our deck in order to win this game. We are very close to that 1 card, and we're very close to getting to that 1 card. So it could be just as simple as us going Pokégear, getting it. I mean, if we don't get anything off Pokégear, we still have Avery to maybe draw 3 cards. We'll see how it goes. So right now, again, I think our opponent's just going to go for a Gmax swallow up, knock out our active Pokemon, and then we're going to be ready to go with Duraludon VMAX. Maybe they're trying to go for Boss. Boss might be a strong play for them. The energies on us, quite frankly, don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Because we're just trying to get set up with Gmax, just our ability, right? Skyscraper. So we're gonna see how this plays out. Let's see what we top deck. That's not what we're looking for. So we have 2 options. We could either go for Raw Avery and hope, or we could go Pokégear and hope that we get Adventurer's Discovery. Since we are filled with Adventurer's Discovery, we're going to try to get it. We are going to thin the boss out. You see, we would have been so close to getting it too. Let's see if Avery gets it for us. No, I don't think we're going to be able to win this game. That's the sad part. Our opponent did, oh, you want to know what? We have the Flannery in our hands. Will we get it off the Flannery? I forgot that Flannery is a single strike card. No! Let's go for this. Let's go for this. We're going to take the Hiding Dark, so our opponent might not be able to retreat at the active. We're going to try again for next turn, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's so unfortunate to miss that. And this is really the fine line. If we get Duraludon VMAX, we Skyscraper, and the game is our opponent cannot attack for the rest of the game. If we somehow survive this, we're going to try again next turn. But really, like, our goal is to get out a Duraludon VMAX. We had it with before our opponent Marnied. And you can see, like, they only play special energies, and that's why it's so strong. The line between winning and losing is right here. So they're gonna get set up, and I mean, maybe they'll be able to get the knockouts. Do they have the switch? Yeah, they're gonna have the switch, and then they're gonna be able to get it. So there's the well played to our opponent. Sometimes it's gonna happen like this. Duraludon is Duraludon things. That's what we got going on with Duraludon VMAX. You can see some games are able to dominate, and I mean, when it dominates, it dominates. Other games, you are going to be slightly inconsistent because you are dealing with an Adventurer's Discovery, Avery, Flannery. Like, there's a bunch of awkward supporters when it comes to this deck. So maybe this deck will grow over time. Cards that I'm thinking about cutting are Zamazenta V. I don't think it's necessarily as good as most people think it is. Maybe it is better than I think it is, and I need to test the deck a little bit more. That being said, I'm going to test the deck a little bit more. I think it's a real threat coming up in the next few weeks, and Duraludon VMAX is awesome as always, so be sure to give this deck a legitimate check when you got a chance. So overall, I really appreciate everyone watching this video. Stay tuned for more great Pokemon TCG content, daily uploads, all that great stuff. I will catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.